BoxBox Hub is an absolute essential for any Formula One fan, and the entire app with new widgets, statistics, localized race schedules, and countdowns, you name it. They even have support for Apple's new live activities feature with real-time updates during a race right on the lock screen, and honestly, some of the best looking widgets I've seen.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are ready for Silver, the final race of the season as well. This is going to be a cracker in Abu Dhabi, of all places, the traditional end to the ALR season. And of course, there is the standings. We'll run through the standings as we're just waiting for one more person to jump into the lobby. And we have got there B-Rabbit, of course, crowned the champion then 2 weeks ago in Brazil, and he is sitting pretty there at the top of the standings there as well. Tango there in P2. There is a fight for P2 tonight to confirm P2 and P3 in the standings between Tango there in the Aston Martin and Dylan in P3 in the Alfa Romeo at the moment. Good stuff indeed there. There is Farf there, P4, Pot Stuff in P5, Dopey Lemons P6 there at the moment in the Alfa Romeo as well. Good stuff from Alfa Romeo this season. Gordo in P7 there after a difficult start to the season is going good at the moment. And looking strong there in the Red Bull in P7. And then we've got the two McLarens of Mumford and Irvine there, P8 and P9. Sweet P makes up the top 10 in the driver's standings. Then Mr. Elite just outside the top 10 in P11. He could actually jump into the top 10 with a good scoring performance here in Abu Dhabi in the final race of the season. Season 6 of Silver as well. Ultimate Beast in P12 there in the Ferrari. Then McConey, of course, a late joiner to the season, but he's doing a great job there in P13 in the Williams. Then Reflection in P14. As somebody's jumped out the session then. Great stuff indeed. But McConey in P14, then Reflection in P14 there in the Mercedes. Craig R in P15 in the AlphaTauri. Jinner in the Haas P15 after a great start. He's done the opposite of Gordo. Then he's had a great start and then a difficult end to the season. But there we go. And then we've got KD, of course, another late joiner there in P17. V Todd down the order, having a bit of a difficult season in this Silver Season 6. Hopefully he can bounce back. Same for Kamara there in P19. And E Moller, who is, unfortunately, he's not part of the grid anymore. But there we go then. We are ready to get started then for the final race of the season. Then here we go. Here is the classifications in the constructors. As there we go, Mercedes were crowned champions there in Las Vegas last week, I believe. This round, the round that's just gone, and the one that we're just looking at in the standings. Alfa Romeo there in P2 as it stands. They can't get the constructors title. Then they are still in a fight as well with Aston Martin as well. So there is, of course, the constructors and, of course, the drivers there. The fight for P2 and P3 hotting up between the Aston Martin drivers and the Alfa Romeo drivers as well. McLaren in P4 there, 253 points for them. Then Mr. Red Bull in the P5, Alpine P6 there, MoneyGram Haas in P7, Scuderia Ferrari in P8 then, and unfortunately for Williams and Scuderia AlphaTauri, they are down the bottom of the order there. But again, some good points here tonight could get them up the order. So that is the classifications for the standings as it stands. There is some still points to be had here in Abu Dhabi. There is still some pride to be fought for, and I'm sure the drivers there will put it all on the line here tonight in the final race of Silver Season 6, the final race for Silver in 2023 as well. This is it for 2023. We'll be, of course, into the new year when we start the new season, and of course, if you haven't heard already, the start of this new season will be the start of the Silver season will be the 15th of January. Of course, Gold will start on the 14th of January. So it'll be mid-January we start the new season, Season 10 of ALR. It's been almost 5 years and I need a nice little nap after this, I think. But right then, we are ready to get cracking then for the start of the qualifying. That is, I think everybody is loaded in apart from one person. We're missing one driver, but hopefully Smithy can get somebody sorted out and we can get ourselves a reserve in for whoever that is. Good stuff indeed. So we'll get rid of the standing there. Here is the lovely pit lane. We're just waiting for some drivers to get themselves out onto the track as we get ourselves underway. And I think it is going to be McConey who's going to lead us away here. onto this wonderful circuit. Of course, the reprofiled hairpin there with the removals of the old turn 3 and 4 means that we can go a bit faster there into that hairpin. Although it was reprofiled back in 2021, wasn't it? Because it was, of course, the finale of the 2021 season where we had the showdown for the championship fight in between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. We saw that new reprofiled, the lack of the reprofiled turns really help Max Verstappen in that attempt to get himself into the lead of the race there on that last lap. But I don't think we're going to have so much issues there here tonight. Then, of course, like I said, the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' Championship for silver is wrapped up. But there is still P2 and P3, both for the drivers and constructors, to be fought for and to be determined here tonight, here in the marina of Yas Marina, that is. And under the hotel section goes McConey then to start off the first flying lap here of the session. And of course, these will be the last flying laps then that the silver drivers will be doing then in 2023 as well. So here goes car number 98, then McConey onto the circuit, and away he goes. Gordo said bonjour, and 11th to 16th is quite close, as Gordo. They're looking at the standings, I think. There, yes, of course. Like I said, anybody who gets some big points here tonight, then who are around that area, could jump themselves into the top 10 really of the driver standings, that is, as well. So it's there's still, like I said, lots to play for. Kamara Racer has retired. He's in the pit lane, I think. Unless he's had a bit of a smash. He has had a smash, actually. Where is he? There he is on the... there he is. We just saw that car before it got cleared away. Then that Kamara Racer is done and dusted in qualifying then as well. Unfortunately for him, he's out. I believe... no, it's not KD. KD had a quali ban, but unfortunately he's not participating tonight, so never mind. That will carry over to next season. So unfortunately for him. But there we go. McConey then is leading us away there down the back straight. Then purple, of course, in Sector 2. And around the another reprofiled turn, but this is a lot more flowing this part of the circuit now as well compared to the previous iterations of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. As now through the hotel section we go then, and flying through there very nicely indeed, making sure we don't go too wide, because you can invalidate there as well. And around the penultimate corner then, let's see what the Williams driver can do then to set ourselves on the way in on the board, as he does a 23.162. Yeah, good stuff indeed. Craig Arthur has gone faster still. He's done a 23.0 there in the AlphaTauri, and his teammate has done a 22.4 there in New Zealand. Cam, of course, reserving tonight in place of KD. So he is starting to set the precedent then already here in this qualifying session. Dylan has done 23.6 there in the Alfa Romeo there, but Todd slots himself into a 28.6. I'm not quite sure that's the best time that Todd can do. I think he might have had a problem there on his previous lap there, but nonetheless, he has got himself a time on the board. That is B Rabbit then the championship, or the champion, sorry, I should say, for Silver Season 6 there, has done a 22.9 there, but he's of course on the medium compound tyres, as you can tell from the lovely yellow stripe on those lovely tyres as well. Beast, they're up into P3 with a 22.9. Good stuff from Beast, looking strong here as it stands. Junior as well in P4. Mumford has got into a 22.6 there on the soft compound tyres as well. Good stuff from Mumford. That is looking pretty good there. Of course, he had a very good race there in silver in Vegas last week, and he got himself a podium in the end as well. Good stuff from Mumford. Let's see if we can carry that form on here in the final race of Silver Season 6 then. Right, we've got TKM there going up into P7 there, joining us in this final race as well as a reserve, but he is looking good there to get himself some seats confirmed, one seat confirmed, hopefully for next season potentially. We'll see how the race develops for himself as well in the Alfa Romeo then, in place of Dopey Lemons, who unfortunately is not able to take the race tonight, so he's going to be missing out in the final race of the season, but he has been replaced by someone who looks like he's going to do a good job there in the Alfa Romeo then. 23.1 there for TKM. Good stuff indeed. Swim to be there on the board there. P10. VTOD, like I said, he's not done a competitive time just yet, unfortunately for VTOD. Just going to have to recollect and go again. Tango around the final corner. Let's see what the Aston Martin can do. Of course, fighting for P2 as it stands there in the Drivers' Championship. And he's up into P2 as well there. 22.636 there for the Aston Martin driver. Very good stuff indeed. They're looking strong in the Aston Martin as well. And of course, the fight there for himself in the driver's standings in P2. He's currently in P2 by 16 points. then of course that is looking very strong indeed to start him off on the front row of the grid. But we haven't seen Dylan yet just do his best time just yet. We'll have to wait and see what he can do, and of course we'll have to wait and see what TKM can do. And unfortunately for Aston Martin in the joint, it was not joint constructors there, Aston Martin in the constructors standings for silver, Kamara there is out of qualifying before he even got a lap time in, and that means he's going to be down at the order starting right at the back of the grid there, unfortunately, at this stage. Not quite sure why he is why we've only got 19. We did have about 7 reserves as well, so hopefully Smithy can just get himself a reserve in and jump into the car, because we have got a Ferrari missing as well. Ferrari there will be looking for some big points here tonight then from Beast and from hopefully a reserve who jumps in, because they are fighting to avoid the wooden spoon then in the Constructors' Championship, which of course is between Ferrari, Williams and AlphaTauri here tonight. So let's have a look and see if that is going to be flipped on its head there. Tango back into the pit lane now to finish off that in lap there. Here comes V Todd then. V Todd is trying to get himself a bit of a better time than a 28.6 at the moment, but I'm pretty sure he can improve on that. Let's see what he can do now as he comes up to the final corner then in the Alpine, and it's going to be, what's it going to be exactly? It is going to be 24.5 there. I think he's on the same set of tyres there, but he's unfortunately still 0.6 off P11 there of Sweet MJP at the moment. Reflection is out on track then, just starting his lap. We'll have a ride on board the Mercedes then as we go through the new layout there. We have had one race, I think, at the very end of last season there around this circuit, but it was of course on F122. So this is what it's going to be like then on F123. If you had any watch of the gold race last night, which was a cracker, go back and watch it. It was absolutely fantastic, and I didn't do too badly, but I don't want to comment on my races because they're usually terrible. Reflection there has not activated the DRS then, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there for Reflection. He must be just having a nice casual cruise around the circuit for the time being, as Mr. Elite there is flying about on circuit now down towards the hairpin end purple in Sector 1. That's very good stuff indeed there for the Red Bull driver. Of course, he was one of the drivers that Gordo was commenting on, as he's going to get a nice little toad. Is he down the back straight from his teammate? Oh, it's almost in the back of him as well. But like I was saying, it's yeah, was just trying to get himself a nice little toe. But Mr. Elite there, P11 in the driver's standings with a decent haul of points here tonight, could get himself into the top 10 and cement himself a top half position finish at the end of the season as well. It all depends on this race as well. There's going to be plenty of points to play for, and it's all down to who's going to come out on top and who's going to finish in the final points paying position. But of course, 10 drivers do finish in the points in the race. One driver can get the fastest lap point as well, but that is available to anybody who is in the session. So long as they are still in the car and driving around, they can be P19 or in this case hopefully P20 when we get somebody else in. But I'm not quite sure what's going on with there, but there we are. Sirius Bashman said evening all. Gordo said dry all the way there. This time of course we did have some rain in Q3 yesterday in gold. So that was interesting stuff indeed. Howdy from Vintage there. Jump in if you like as well. You have to ask Smithy in the Discord server, please, because it's not in my control, unfortunately. I'm just here to commentate on what's going on the screen. So there we go. I'll do my best to commentate on it. Mr. Elite there has done a 23.5, puts himself P10 for the time being, but Dylan has gone fastest with a 22.4. That is impressive from Dylan there in the Alfa Romeo. Of course, he's fighting for that P2 in the drivers' standings and P2 for Alfa Romeo in the constructors as well. And at the moment, his rivals really, of Tango in P4 and Kamara Racer down in P16, but not going to be able to get a timing because he's retired after a big smash there at the exit of the final corner, just about to start his flying lap. He is unfortunately out of qualifying, so Dylan is looking strong here indeed. TKM in P10 as well could get some points there for the Alfa Romeo Alfa Romeo team to propel them up the order as well in the constructors and potentially overtake Aston Martin on the final race of the season. So there we go then. We've got 7 minutes left of the qualifying, and I'm still hopeful that we can get somebody else in to just jump into the car. I'm not quite sure if Smithy's just on a holiday or not, but either way, somebody can message him in the Discord and sort him out then. Pot Stuff then looking to set his first flying lap of the night, as we've just had somebody else jump up the order. I think it was B Rabbit then into P4. He is just over a tenth away from pole position. The champion is, of course, but I don't think he's too worried about this race, to be honest, because he's wrapped up the championship in terms of the drivers and the constructors last week. So he's not too fussed about what happens there in this race. I don't think so. It's all good for B Rabbit. Then he's just having a nice, gonna have a nice Monday drive around this circuit here tonight. But here comes Pot Stuff there, as we've just had who we had Mumford jump up the order there to P4, 22.473 there from the McLaren, looking strong indeed after his great performance, then great podium in Vegas last week as well. Here comes Pot Stuff then through the hotel section as Serious Mushroom, very rude there. Dylan saying that Dylan is about time someone did the work for Alfa Romeo. They're referring to Dylan, of course, but Serious Mushroom then, if he qualified, would be much further up the order as well. We would have got some more points for the Alfa Romeo team. So that's my retort. But there we go then. Pot Stuff P6 then, 22.571 at the moment. Good stuff indeed for Pot Stuff. P6 then for the Haas driver. Both the Haas looking strong here in Abu Dhabi tonight. Jinner in P3 as well. So it's looking good for Team Haas there tonight as well. They're in the midpoint of the constructors, so there's not too much to fight for the Haas team in terms of the constructors. But of course, in the drivers, there is some positions to be gained, I think, between both drivers. Actually, Pot Stuff there in P5 in the standings could get himself a P4 as well. Beast has jumped up to P6 though, finishing off a lap of 22.5 there for the Ferrari driver. Good stuff from him. Right then, so we've got a bit of a lull here in qualifying as Jay Hings has joined the session somehow, so that's good stuff indeed. Right then, so we've got somebody joining. I think if that's for Ferrari team, the Beast there is in P6 as it stands. Kamara there is out of qualifying. Reflection hasn't got a valid lap in, unfortunately, so far. Irvine as well is just starting her first flying lap here in the session as well. Purple in Sector 1. That's looking good there for car number 94 there in the McLaren then. Let's see what he can do through Sector 2 and Sector 3. We'll ride on board with the McLaren as we go down the longer straight there on the track, as we go down towards the next chicane, which is quite difficult to get it right. The heavy braking zone, or the heaviest braking zone of the circuit as well. But he's negotiated it very nicely indeed. As yeah, I think Jay Hings has got himself in the Ferrari now. Good stuff indeed. Right then, into Sector 2 we go then for Irvine. Let's see what he... it's not gone purple this time, but I'm not quite sure if that means that he's down on his time, or if he's... Well, not down on any time yet. He's not set a time just yet, so he needs to get himself something on the board. But let's see what he can do then into the hotel section of Sector 3, just to finish off this first flying lap attempt then from the McLaren driver, then into... He's almost lost the car there, trying to correct it, and managed to get it caught in just the time as he's into the pit lane, so he's called it a day then already. That's good indeed. But that is Irvine's lap done, so he didn't want to finish that one off. Reflection just starting another lap now as well. And Jinner is on circuit, but he's further along than Reflection, so we'll go over to the Haas driver, see what he can do then. I think this is going to be his last or final flying lap attempt, the final flying lap for Jinner there in 2023 in ALR Silver Season 6 as well. This is the last few qualifying laps that these drivers will do then in this calendar year. Of course, we'll be starting the new season in January then, January the 15th for Silver next season. So we'll tune in for that then. Of course, there's going to be much more details and much more information in the Discord server between the break really, between the end of this season and the start of the next one. As Jinner going very wide there over the curbs there. That is not the part of the track that we rent, sir, as Ginger Age would say. But hopefully he has not lost too much time then from that. He might have lost quite a few tenths, actually, to be fair, running over those curbs. They can be costly indeed. As Jinner, they're trying to improve there on a 22.4. Can he get himself any improvement there on this lap then? He's abandoned his time then. I'm not sure if he's got enough time to go back round and go or go on to another flying lap attempt. They will have to wait and see. Hopefully he's got enough time to get himself sorted and back out on track then. Reflection round the final corner. Let's see what the Mercedes can do. It's P11 for Reflection, 22.944 as it stands, and that is only P11 for the time being, and I think that is Reflection's qualifying. Only one lap there, his qualifying done and dusted. Now he's not got enough time to get himself back round and back out again. V Todd is what's happened to V Todd then? He's invalidated his time, but he's only just started a lap, I think, there. So yeah, unfortunately, the VTOL will have to wait. We'll have to come back to him. Craig R is on a lap now as well. There's a lot of people in front who are having issues. Well, not having issues. They're trying to warm up their tyres. There, you can see moving down the straight. But they need to make sure they get out of the way of this ferocious Alpha Tauri that's flying down through the chicane then as well. Let's see what he can do then onto the back straight, making sure you go through that chicane as quickly and as clearly as possible then, because you can lose a lot of time through there. As now second DRS zone as well, down towards the the old chicane end at the beginning of sector 3, but it's now just one big loop as we go round in towards sector 3 now. The white line at the pit entry does give you dodgy penalties. Apparently, says Serious Mushroom. I think we saw some of that in gold as well yesterday. So yeah, it can give you a warning there for just going through the pit lane basically. So yeah, it can be a bit of an odd one. Then of course, if you've got your race director as Craig R up into P4, fantastic lap time indeed from Craig R. Irvine retiring in the pit lane. He's done and dusted already, unfortunately for Irvine. But Craig R with a fantastic P4 there, 22.444 indeed from car number 42. Shame it's not car number 44, but there we go. You can't be number 44 because there's a certain Lewis Hamilton, I think, that's stolen that number. But there we go. Great stuff indeed there from Craig R. At the moment, P4, second row of the grid, but there's still drivers out there to improve on their times. Let's see who can be next to cross the line. I think Swing Up here just starting a lap now as well, and we'll have to wait and see who's going to be next to cross the line in anger. Gorda there just starting a lap as well. And I think the Mercedes of Reflection is coming back to the pit lane, is he? Yes, he is, because Reflection into the box now. So he's finished his qualifying now. Has a Reflection. He's going to be no higher than P11, unfortunately, for Reflection. Same for Favre, J. Hings, Kamara Racer, and Irvine there. They are done in qualifying as well. Jinner is on an out lap, and I don't think he's going to have enough time to get himself back into the box. No, he's not, unfortunately. So that is, as Dylan has gone faster still. He's done 22.268 there. Great stuff indeed from Dylan there. Looking good for pole position as it stands, and that is great stuff from the Alfa Romeo driver, of course, like I said, in the fight for P2 in the drivers and the constructors as well, and looking strong indeed here in Abu Dhabi. Very good stuff indeed from him. Let's see what New Zealand Cam can do. Can he improve by 0.2 of a second, or 1.5 of a second to get himself up the order? He can. It's a 21.946 there from the Alpha Tauri driver. Great stuff indeed. And again, the reason why he's he shouldn't be in this league, he should be promoted to gold, and I think he will be next season. So this is his final race in silver. But there we go then. Pot stuff there across the line there to go P3. It's an all Haas row 2 as it stands. Great stuff indeed from Potstuff and from Jeddah. The checker flag has fallen for these drivers then, as B Rabbit is the next across the line. Beast has retired then in the where is he retired? I think he's in the pit lane there. Here comes B Rabbit then up into P3. He takes away the second row there from the Haas drivers, or one of them anyway, because Jinner now down to P5 there. But B Rabbit there, the champion of course of Silver Season 6 there, into P3 on the second row of the grid behind Dylan and behind New Zealand Cam. Tango has finished P11 there. Unfortunately, he didn't get himself an improvement on his first time then, which was looking strong indeed, but he's only 0.4 off or so, getting on the front row of the grid there. But unfortunately for the drivers and the constructors standings, that is not where Aston Martin want to be. Right, well, we have got somebody out on track, sorry, still. It's Mr. Elite. I'm not quite sure what he's up to, but yeah, he seems to be trying to get himself back to the pit lane or something, but he's having a few problems there. VTOD has gone through. Mr. Elite is just trying to get himself back to the pit lane, I think, but we're going to have to sit here for another 2 minutes just to wait for him to get himself sorted. But that is your qualifying done and dusted then for the final time here in Silver Season 6 2023, round 22 of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. That is your grid then. It's ready to get going for the race then, which will be coming up in just about 50 seconds time. So we're ready to get racing now. We're just waiting for somebody to get himself back to the pits. So yeah, I'm not quite sure why he's still going, to be honest. I'm not sure if he realises that all the cars that are out on track are just the AI cars just cruising around. But as that is one way to not make the pit entry, but he has got himself back to the pits finally, so that is good stuff indeed. But there is your, so that is your order then for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which is coming up in just a few seconds time now, and we will run through the classification in just a few seconds time. There is so New Zealand Cam there in the AlphaTauri there on pole position, probably where KD could have been as well, but unfortunately KD didn't want to wake up for this race. Dylan in P2 then on the front row of the grid there, looking to get himself some big points there for the constructors and for the team's championship as well. And for the drivers' championship as well. Bree Rabbit there, the champion in P3, Potstuff P4, Jinner in P5, good stuff from the Haas team. Craig R in P6, great quality from him. Mumford in P7, Beast in P8 there, McConey P9, King reserving in the Alfa Romeo there, P10, Tango in P11 there, unfortunately didn't get a second run in there. Swinton P12, Reflection P13, Gordo P14, Mr. Elite in P15, V Todd and Varve, both the Alpines 16th and 17th. Jay Hings in P18. Kamara Razor had a big smash there, didn't get time in, and unfortunately neither did Irvine as well in P20.
BoxBox Hub is an absolute essential for any Formula One fan, and the entire app with new widgets, statistics, localized race schedules, and countdowns, you name it. They even have support for Apple's new live activities feature with real-time updates during a race right on the lock screen, and honestly, some of the best looking widgets I've seen.
Right then, we are ready to get the race underway. Let's see how it's going to unfold here in Abu Dhabi from dusk until twilight or something, whatever it's called, isn't it? This race, I'm not quite sure what the terms are really. It starts off quite light and it goes a bit dark later on. That's all I know. Whatever you want to call it, that's what happens. So this is the very final race of the season, and round 22. Then we've had a long season, not as long as last season. Of course, last season was 24 rounds. But this season, 22 rounds then, it's been an epic season indeed, especially in silver as well. Been a great pleasure to commentate on it as well, as we are ready to get going. And then for the start of the Grand Prix here for the final time in silver season 6, round 22 then of 22 as well. This is it then for the what am I doing? This is it then for the qualifying. Qualifying has been done, sorry. The race is about to get underway then. Here we go on to the back of the grid. We'll start on the back of the grid then for Irvine, then on the medium and compound tyres in P20, then Kamara on the mediums as well in P19. Quite an even split between hards and mediums throughout the grid then as well. Jay Hings and Farf both on the hards there, P18 and 17 as well respectively. Then we've got a lot of medium runners then, both the Red Bulls there and V Todd there in P16 and P15 and 14. They're all on the medium compound tyres. Reflection on the hards in P13 there in the Mercedes. Swim P there in P12, just outside the top 10 on the medium compound tyres, as is Tango there, but he's on the hard compound in P11. Then into the top 10, we've got two hard runners there. TKM there reserving tonight on his first appearance as well in ALR. Looking good indeed there in P10 there in the Alfa Romeo there on the hard compound tyres. McConey on the hards in P9 as well. And he's had a great start actually to the ALR season there. He of course joined. I think he joined in around the sort of Qatar stage of the season, so it's only been a few races for McConey, but he's done a great job so far in the Williams. That is Ultimate Beast in P8 there on the medium compound tyres. Then we've got two more hard runners of Mumford and Craig R, P7 and P6 for those two. Softs for Jinner. He's the only driver on the grid there on the soft compound tyres. Will that be very good for him, benefit him, or will it be a hindrance there in the early stages of the Grand Prix? It should be quite good off the line, but it might those tyres might wear out quite quickly indeed into the first few laps of the race there. Pot stuff on the mediums in P4. Beat Rabbit then in P3 on the second row of the grid there on the hard compound tyres. The front row of Dylan in P2 and New Zealand Cam both on the hard compound tyres to start this race. Right then, we are ready to get going then. We're just lining up on the grid there for the final race of the season. There's a Haas in the background that's had a few issues there, and I think that was, that, it seems to be like a bit of front wings come off there somehow. Where is that Ferrari going? Okay, not quite sure what that Ferrari's doing at all, but okay. Right then, well, we'll have to wait and see what's going on with for Ultimate Beast. It seems to someone's got a front wing damage. There's a bit of front wing in the middle there, but we're waiting for Ultimate Beast to sort himself out, and then we can get going for this race, I think. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what is happening here for Ultimate Beast. He seems to have had an issue. But once we get ourselves ready to go, we can get ourselves lined up on the grid and start this Grand Prix hopefully one day. Yeah, at the moment we're just waiting for the cars to get themselves sorted. It looks like there is end plate damage there for the Ferrari as well. So goodness knows what's going on with that. But we'll have hopefully get ourselves sorted at some point, as Ultimate Beast has been disqualified for going the wrong way. So yeah, that's that then. I don't know whether we're going to get a race start here or something or not, but he has been disqualified now, so I'm guessing he'll just teleport back to his grid slot and we can get ourselves started in this race then. But at the moment we're just waiting for that Ferrari to be moved off the circuit, I think. But hopefully we can get ourselves going at some point. No, I think we've got a lobby restart, so there we go then. Lobby restart then, so everybody's going to have to back out and we can get ourselves restarted then in a few seconds time there. So that is that then. So bear with us whilst we get the lobby resorted, and we can get ourselves restarted then in a few seconds time then. But like I said, at the moment we can just blissfully watch the drivers there waiting for the grid, as the migrating host has started and as ALR has left the session. And so we will also leave the session and wait for a new invitation. So yeah, bear with us. We are, of course, technical difficulties on the final race of the season. Who would have thought it? But yeah, there we go. Then we can have a nice look at the track layout, I suppose, from this point of view. There's me. I don't want to see. You don't want to see that. That's my latest race practice. Abu Dhabi. Then here we go. 16 turns, of course, lap record by Verstappen. Then, of course, that was first set in 2021, which was, of course, the final lap there of the 2021 season as well. So there we go. Right then, we're just about to get ourselves restarted, just waiting for the invites to go out to all the drivers then as well. It won't be too long before we get the race underway, and of course the qualifying has already happened, so we'll go straight into the race itself. It says it's of an easy track difficulty. I'm not quite sure about that, especially through Sector 3. But there we go then. I'm not quite sure what your thoughts are about the track difficulty is around Abu Dhabi. But of course, the gold drivers have already tackled it. Silver are tackling it right now, or they will be in a few seconds. And then, of course, bronze is on tomorrow night. So bronze is the final of the season. Then, of course, is back once again there for silver season. Bronze season 6 tomorrow night. And, of course, it is the same as silver. Yeah, they've got the final round here in Abu Dhabi as well. Then round 22 for bronze is coming up tomorrow night then. So yeah, bear with us whilst we get the lobby sorted for silver. We'll get the race underway very shortly, and I will jump into the lobby as there we go then. Yeah, so the final of the bronze season will be tomorrow night then, of course, as I don't want to select a team. I want to get myself in spectator mode. There we go. Good stuff indeed. So yes, we have got ourselves ready to get going then once again. And we will be back underway very, very shortly. Hopefully we're not racing around Bahrain. We'll hopefully be racing around Abu Dhabi, because that's where the qualifying just took place. But we will get ourselves sorted in a few seconds' time then, as just waiting then for all the drivers to jump into the lobby again, and we can get ourselves restarted and back underway. So it won't be too long. Like I said, we're just getting everyone back in the session and back and getting the grid sorted out, and we'll be able to crack on then with this Grand Prix. In the meantime, maybe we should discuss what we had for dinner. I had some pasta. It was very nice. If anybody else wants to tell me what they've been eating then for dinner, then let me know in the comment section. But it won't be too long. We've got 18 already back in, so hopefully we can just get a couple more there to sort themselves out, get themselves into the cars as well. Wonderful stuff. Right then, ready to get ourselves underway then for the restart of this race, I suppose you could say. We had a false start basically on that one, because we didn't have the starting lights come up at all, did we? So we will have the race ready to get going then for this one, and yeah, we're waiting for just got everyone back into the lobby I think now, so just waiting for everyone to join up and join in, and we can get ourselves finally restarted then in this one to get ourselves back underway for the final race of the season. There we go, everybody is in now, so just waiting for the grid to be sorted out. So don't ready up just yet, just wait for Smithy to give you the all clear, and we can get ourselves cracking then in the final race of the season. 22 races this season has been from July until December. It's been a long season indeed there, but all the drivers then have done a great job of putting on a show week in, week out as well. So good stuff from everybody who's taken to the track then, and a good shout out then to all the drivers. This is my personal shout out, of course, as admin for ALR. Personal shout out to everybody who's taken part in all divisions, all seasons of ALR this season. It's been very nice indeed to put on a show every week there from everybody for you guys as well. And congratulations to our champions as well. Congratulations to everybody who's done a good job there this season. To be fair, it's been a pleasure to be hosting ALR for everybody this season as well. Season 9, we're into season 10 next season, so there's going to be plenty of upgrades to bring to you for a delightful season 10 there. 10 seasons, 5 years of ALR. It is going to be God, it's going to be epic. Hopefully, indeed, it depends on how quickly I can get everything processed in terms of the graphics and whatnot. But we'll try our best. Right then, just waiting for the grid to get sorted, and we'll be able to crack on then with the restart of this Grand Prix. There is no qualifying, of course. We're going to go straight into the race. There'll be the formation lap, and then hopefully everyone can park up in their grid slots, and we can get the race started as well. But just waiting for Smithy to sort out the grid. Setups, says Serious Mushroom. Do not forget your setups then if you're listening and you're racing in silver. Do not forget your setups then in this session, of course, because of course the restart now has knocked off everyone's setups. So you need to make sure that the setups are loaded once again before you get yourself underway then on the formation lap as well. So there we go. Cool beans. I think we're ready to get going again. We'll run through the standings quickly as well, shall we? Because we'll have a look at that quickly just before we restart. So there is the standings there in the drivers. We've got B Rabbit then, of course, the champion that was crowned 2 weeks ago then in Brazil. Tango then and Dylan are in a fight there for P2 and P3 in the standings, in the driver standings respectively, that is. Of course, there's lots of battles further down the order as well there in the drivers, so there's plenty of points on offer. We might see some changes then into the final race of the season. Into the constructors there, and we've got B Rabbit has already won the driver's title. He's also with Reflection won the constructor's title from Mercedes as well. Then, like I was saying, Alfa Romeo actually P2 already, I think, in the constructor standings. Aston Martin there in P3, McLaren P4, Mr. Elite there, and Gordo there in P5 in the Red Bull, Alpine in P6 there, MoneyGram Haas there P7, Ferrari in P8, Williams and AlphaTauri make up the order then in the classification there for the constructors. Good stuff indeed. I think we're ready to get ourselves back underway finally. So hopefully we can get ourselves some racing here. We haven't got any news on the weather, but hopefully it doesn't rain in this race because I'm not sure if Smithy set the lobby up to clear. But hopefully it'll be all right. Then hopefully no rain in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Of course, if you want to go back and watch a wet Abu Dhabi race, there was one in silver in the final race of silver season 2, I believe, or season 3. And it was a very wet. Well, it was one of those ones where it was halfway between dry and halfway between wet compounds, and it was literally for the whole race pretty much. And nobody could tell whether they were meant to be on dry compounds or whether they should be on inters. And it was never. It was always in between. It wasn't ever one tire or the other. It was always a crossover pretty much for the whole race, and it was interesting to watch. Put it that way. So yeah, if you're ever entertained about a nice wet Abu Dhabi race, then go back and watch that one in silver. It was spectacular indeed. Right then, we're just waiting for the drivers to get themselves readied up, of course, getting their setups loaded, hopefully, if they can remember them, and getting everything sorted then for the final race of Silver Season 6, then round 22, and we can get ourselves underway then for this final race of the season, then the final race of 2023, therefore Silver as well, and the next tomorrow night is the final race then of ALR in 2023. Of course, it's the final race for Bronze, and that will be on live from ALR in 7:30 p.m. I believe. I would hope so anyway, because that's usually when the scheduled time is. So 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night is the final race for bronze then, and the final race of ALR in season 9, that is, but also the final race of ALR in 2023. So it's going to be hopefully a cracker for you to watch as well. So right then, we're ready to get going then for silver. I think we are anyway. We're just waiting for the drivers to get themselves sorted, and once we've done that, we can get ourselves underway. Then we have got ourselves underway then, so we will have a quick look again at the tyre compounds, and it looks like everybody has gone the same pretty much as what they had already sorted. So that is that then. We'll go need to watch that really again, because we've seen that already, but there we go. We'll get ourselves back underway then. We'll turn that off, we'll turn that on, and we can get ourselves some racing hopefully this time, as like I said, we're going to go round the formation lap once again, and we can get ourselves underway then for the 29 laps around here. Oh, serious mushroom curry chips and a battered sausage. I'm not quite sure what order that is in, but there we go then. So great stuff indeed then from Serious Mushroom. Very tasty indeed. Fish and chips from Jay Hings, as very nice indeed as well. And somebody had a Toby Carvery. Blimey, that's fantastic. Yeah, I'd go for that as well. That's fantastic stuff indeed. I will consider that. I might have to go for a Toby Carvery tomorrow, just because I am now watering at the mouth, then thinking about Toby Carveries. But I need to worry about watering at the mouth for this race, because it's going to be an epic Grand Prix, and it is coming up in just a few corners' time. The formation lap then is just about almost finished. We're into Sector 3 now, and we can get ourselves some racing hopefully. Dylan there, like I said, is fighting there for P2 there in the drivers' standings, and of course he is right in front of the champion then, B Rabbit then, who was crowned the champion in Brazil. And of course he is also the constructors champion that was crowned in Las Vegas last week then for Mercedes and Reflection. Of course Reflection has contributed to the team as much as possible as well. He's had a bit of a difficult season, has Reflection, but he's struggled on in some cases, but he's done a great job then of just maximising the positions, maximising the points wherever he can as well. Right then, let's see if it works this time. Fingers crossed it does, so we can hopefully get ourselves lined up on the grid then and ready to get going. This time hopefully the Ferrari of Beast has got himself parked in the right location, and we can get ourselves started then for this Grand Prix. As away we go then. We're just waiting for the last couple of cars to line themselves up on the grid, and this time it's Favre who's got himself not got himself sorted in the right place, I don't think. Right, here we go. I think we're ready to get going now. The 5 red lights are coming on this time, which is good. The 5 red lights are on here in Abu Dhabi then for the final race of Silver Season 6 then. And away we go for the for the final race of the season, as in towards turn 1. Dylan looking to try and make a move there down the inside on the AlphaTauri of the Haas. I thought there was a Haas driving down there as well. It was pot stuff as well, going through into P3. Jinner's got himself up into P4 as well, getting round the outside of the champion through turn 2 and 3. Then he's up into P4 now, onto his teammate next as well, as he's trying to go down the inside there, as Dylan's got a problem there. Dylan's had a problem with Jinner as well. Jinner's forced off the circuit as well. No, it's Dylan off the circuit unfortunately there, and what happened into turn 4 we will not know. We'll have to find out, because blimey, Tango with a great start up into P5 then, but I think Dylan there was just caught out by an AlphaTauri, and diving down the inside goes Jinner as well. Then Jinner's really going for it at this stage on those soft compound tyres, and Craig R and Mumford are battling away as well. The McLaren as well, he's been joined by Beast as well. Beast is trying to get his nose in there too. They're down towards Sector 3 for the first lap then. They don't realise there's still 29 laps to go after this one, so I think they're going for it like it's a one-lapper. But thankfully they got themselves through. Craig R's got himself past Beast. No, Beast is up into P6 then. Craig R has been passed by the Ferrari then, as great stuff indeed from Beast. They're really going great guns as well on this opening lap then, as hopefully they can have a bit of calm there after this, because I'm already knackered and we've only done one lap. Far up 5 places there. He's up into P12 going wide there. That will be a warning, I think, as he will be almost collected by the wall there. That is the Latifi corner, as off the circuit goes Jay Hings there, as into the pits comes Sweeter P. Then he's got a problem there as Sweeter P. I'm not sure if there's a front wing damage there for the Williams driver, but he has boxed there to get himself some front wings sorted, I think there. We'll have a look and see. We'll have a look indeed. I'll come back to him as well as we go through towards the hairpin once again, and this time Potstuff is looking to try and get himself into the lead of the race, as Swinton Peters indeed getting a wing change there, unfortunately for the Williams driver. He is back out and away. McConey has been passed by Gorder there into the hairpin as well. Gorder now up into the top 10 as it stands. The classification hasn't sorted itself out as Potstuff has got himself past the AlphaTauri of New Zealand Cam and up into the lead of the race there for Potstuff. Great stuff indeed then. Oh, Cam's trying to get himself back through as well as B Rabbit has joined in the fray. Was there a bit of rain there? I'm hoping I didn't see rain. That is going to be difficult stuff indeed if that is the case there. New Zealand Cam now trying to get the lead back there with the slipstream on the Haas driver around the outside. He goes there into the new reprofiled turn 10, I think it is, as there into the lead. Back into the lead goes New Zealand Cam there on the hard compound tyres there. Potstuff there has to sit in behind now. Of course, DRS will be activated at the beginning of lap 3. But there we go then. Tango there is up into P5 there. That is what he wanted there to cement his position in P2 of the driver's standings as well. He could look to try and get himself even more as well. Jinner is struggling already on those soft compound tyres, and I think Jinner is having a problem there on those soft compound tyres. Potstuff takes the fastest lap of the race then. That is looking good indeed there for the Haas driver as we go into turn 1 for the third time now, as he's going to have DRS of course down the main straight as well, down the back straight I should say, to then go into the chicane as well. And he's all over the back there of that AlphaTauri. They're really pushing the reserve driver of New Zealand Cam there through his paces at this stage of the race there. Of course on the medium compound tyres they will drop off a bit earlier than the hards though, so he might have to make hay whilst his mediums are in the best window at the moment there. Up into the lead of the race then, and he's got the lead this time, and it's confirmed as well. But of course New Zealand Cam there was in the background there. We've got Jinner and Tango battling away as well. Tango up into P4 now. Jinner there is trying to fight back there on those soft compound tyres then as well, and he's going to have DRS as well to help him through down this next straight as well. After the chicane there, we're going to go side by side down here as well. It looks like Tango's fighting as well. Here comes Beast. Beast is going to get himself involved too. Is he around the outside? He is going to get himself involved as well. He's going to go and try and take two. Is he with Beast? They're going around the outside of both of them. And is he going to make his move up into P4? He has done as well. Those soft compound tyres for Jinner is really struggling now. Tango's going to go down the inside of the Haas as well into the hotel section. But Beast has got himself up into P4. Jinner now is struggling there. He's trying to hold on to Tango really, rather than trying to compete with Beast, as he's really holding those soft compound tyres. I think are already done there on lap 3. As Tango down the inside then of the final corner. That's a dive and a half, but he's got the position, has he? And here comes Jinner then coming back at him now. Down towards turn 1. These two are going to go side by side into turn 1 as well. And thankfully, as yellow flags in the background, Mr. Elite and McConey are in the pit lane. I'm not quite sure what's happened to those drivers there. Unfortunately for them, they've had a bit of a problem there. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's gone on there. Swindler P is also trying to catch up there in the background. Of course, he had his wing change there on lap 1. Now Jinner has dropped off. He's dropped out behind Craig R as well. Those soft compound tyres, I think, are already done in this race there. He's used up a lot of ERS there. The light is flashing on the back of his car also. Gordo's got himself past the Haas, and now everyone's going to be flooding through past the Haas of Jinner as well. And I think the strategy just hasn't worked out there for the Haas driver, unfortunately for him. Into the chicane we go there. Gordo's got himself past. There's a Red Bull on the inside there as well. There's Mumford as well going to go through. Is he? But no, soft compound tyres are already struggling. We're already on lap 4, and I'm not quite sure what is happening there for the strategy for Jinner. Potentially he can go on to the mediums there from the next stint and do medium to the end of this race. But at the moment, those tyres just not working indeed for the Haas driver. Down 4 places now after struggling there to keep the car on the track at some stages of the last lap as well. But blimey, it was it caused for an epic first few laps there, didn't it? But we're still on the first few laps. I suppose TKM now all over the back of the Haas driver too, as he's going to try and compound the misery there for Jinner there, who might have to pit sooner rather than later, because it's just costing him his health time now as well. He's lost out there the DRS there to Mumford as well now, and the top drivers there are already through. Craig R's got himself past Tango as well. Tango's struggling there. No ERS there for the Aston Martin driver, as the light is flashing away there on the back of that diffuser there for the Aston Martin car. Out in the lead, Potstuff and New Zealand Cam are trading places there. B Rabbit there has got himself into this battle as well. And the top three now trying to pull away there from Ultimate Beast there in the background. TKM's got himself past Jinner there into the hairpin. He is through, so is Farf there. Farf up into the points now. Jinner's outside the points there after starting in P4. It's not going too well for him. New Zealand Cam and Pot Stuff battling away there into the hairpin. Not into the hairpin, into the chicane as well. Pot Stuff takes the lead, but again, New Zealand Cam there will have the... as Craig Gars had a problem there. Craig Gars dropping down the order. He's had an issue there into the chicane. He's got a 3-second battery for cutting the corner as well, unfortunately for him. But Craig Gard there has had an issue there into the chicane. Not sure if there was a helping hand or not there, but unfortunately for Craig Gard, he's dropped down the field, which is a big shame because he was on for some big points as well. Jay Hings now trying to take over the fight for P10 with Jinner there. He's got himself round the outside. Jinner there on the soft compound tyres. Like I was saying, he's already struggling from lap 3. He's had a problem there with those soft compound tyres. He's really not been able to get the positions, get the pace there on those softs after burning them out, I think, too early there in the opening lap or two. In the top order then we've got New Zealand Cam, Pot Stuff and B Rabbit. They're chasing each other down there for the lead of the race then. Ultimate Beast has dropped off the back, unfortunately, of the top 3, but he's still doing a great job. They're up 4 places there for Beast. Up 9 places, as that say, for Gordo. Fantastic stuff indeed for Gordo. He's really flying indeed. Of course, he got himself a podium then in Las Vegas last week out there, the penultimate race of the season now. We're on to the final race of the season, and it's already been an epic in the first 5 laps. Let's see what lap 6 is going to have in hold. Tango there into P6 at the moment. Then he's looking to try and get himself past these two as well, trying to get himself up into P4. They've lost out to P3 and the top 2 as well. Reflection and Dylan battling away them as Beast has got himself Gordo's got himself past Beast, I should say, up into P4 now for Gordo. Great stuff indeed there for the Red Bull driver. And like I was saying, Gordo actually said himself in the comment section, 10th to 16th is quite close in the driver's standings. Gordo is one of them and can get himself further up the order then in the driver's standings after that opening few laps as well. Great stuff indeed. 10 places there for Gordo. Great stuff from a Red Bull driver as well. TKM and Farf battling away now. Farf there into the oh dear, I'm not going to go down the inside there. I don't think that's a good opportunity there for an overtake. As almost Jay Hings losing the car in the background, but corrected it very quickly indeed. Reflection there has got himself into P11, but he's lost out. He's a bit of a train forming behind Reflection now, unfortunately for the Mercedes driver, as he's got Dylan, Irvine, Jinner, Kamara Racer and potentially Craig R very soon to catch up to him as well. All stuck behind the Mercedes for the time being. But like I was saying, he's on the hard compound tyre, so he'll be going longer in this first stint. Dylan nearly losing the car, then pushing too hard out the final corner. Same for Craig R as well in the background there. He's almost caught up to the pack right ahead of him then. But these are the fringes of the top 10 as well. Then they're catching the top 10 as it stands as well. Reflection has really put on a boost to try and get himself into the range there of Jay Hings now, as there could be some DRS there on offer for Reflection as well. As here we go then up in the order. Then let's have a look and see what Potstaff is up to, because Potstaff retakes the lead once again. Then these two have been swapping the lead round. Oh, there's contact from New Zealand Cam there on the back of Potstaff there into the chicane then, and I think that's New Zealand Cam's going to be at fault for that one, I think, because Potstaff was just trying to get himself slowed down for that chicane coming up then in towards Sector 3 we go. And is he going to go for a move this time? No, Potstaff takes the lead and keeps the lead this time on the second DRS straight as we go round in towards Sector 3 now. These top 3 now 3.7 seconds clear of Gordo there. Gordo has got Beast all over the back, and Tango is following through as well. So for Mumford as well. TKM has dropped off the back. There's a bit of a queue performing behind TKM now, unfortunately for TKM. But he's got Farf there, Jay Hings, Dylan and Reflection, and the rest of the pack coming through as well. They're very close proximity indeed. Tango now all over the back of Beast. As Reflection picks up a 3-second moment, unfortunately for him as well. That is bad news for Reflection. The penalties can start to roll in. We might see some penalties get removed though, because of the pit lane glitches or whatever you want to call it. It's sometimes there's a warning that gets given out when you come into the pit lane, regardless of how well you take it or how normally you take it. As B Rabbit's had an issue there at turn 3. He's lost out there. He's down the order. He's going to lose out to Farf there, and potentially Jay Hings as well. Then no, he's not. He's going to just come back on the order there, come back onto the race there in P9. But I don't know. I didn't see what happened there for B Rabbit there, but he lost the car through turn 3 then, and it's a long right-hander there. You can easily lose the car. The champion then is struggling. Then here comes Farf there on the back of the Alfa Romeo of TKM up into P7 now as well, and he's got the move done there up into P7 as well, up 10 places for him too. Reflection and Dylan. Dylan's got through there this time. Here comes Reflection on a fight back, but Irvine's going to stick his nose in there as well, I think. and try and get himself past the Mercedes driver also, but Dylan there has got himself into P11. And they're trying to fight his way back through, I should say. Irvine going to go around the outside of the Mercedes. That is going to be close indeed, and he's got the move, I think, just about, has he? He's going to be side by side as well through here into the hotel. He's got the move done, has the McLaren driver there past the Mercedes, and now up into P12 there, trying to chase after Dylan. Dylan's going to have to try and get himself in that 1 second window of Jay Hings, because he's going to have more pressure from Irvine and from Reflection coming up behind as well. TKM there is, like I said, now behind Favre. This time Favre is the leader of the train. As up the order then, Gordo's now got a 4 second gap to the top two. The top two, like I said, was a top three, unfortunately, for B-Rabbit. Then he's lost out with that spin down to P9, unfortunately, for the champion then. But the top two now trying to get himself, pull himself away then at this stage. Sorry. As yellow flags for, it's for now for Tauri there. Craigar had a problem there at the exit of turn 1. He's got himself back underway though, has Craigar, but it's not going his way this race after a great qualifying. It's just been a difficult start to this race. He was back in the pit lane, so he's had a problem there, has the Williams driver. I'm not quite sure what's happened to Sweet MP. TKM's got himself back past Favre, now up into P7. Down the order, Dylan's battling away with Irvine. Irvine is trying to get himself through on the Alfa Romeo there, regardless of the championship fight there for Dylan. He doesn't need to worry about that. Does Irvine? Sorry, Favre's got himself back past and up into P7. Here comes Dylan and Irvine again into sector 3 we go, and Irvine going to go around the outside this time of the Alfa Romeo. He did it on the Mercedes. He can't get himself around the Alfa Romeo at this stage, so he has to sit in behind for another lap or so, but it won't be long, I don't think, before Irvine tries to make that move once again. Up in the order then, Pot Stuff is doing a great job of clinging on to the back of New Zealand Camden. Like I was saying in the qualifying, I don't think New Zealand Cam is going to be racing in silver anymore because he's a bit too quick. Like I said, at this stage, Pot Stuff is out in control. Well, both of them are out in control there of this race then, but we did see that as well yesterday in gold, and I'm not going to spoil it, but there might have been a safety car or two that came out at the wrong time for some people, which of course did impact the race, but there we go. Safety cars normally do. Jay Hings and Dylan there switching places there. Jay Hings has, I think, gone let Dylan go through there, because I think he knew that the Alfa Romeo then was going to be very quick indeed there on the pace. Was Dylan there up into P10 now, as B-Rabbit gets himself past his team compatriot then of TKM there into P8 there, but in the background Irvine's got himself past Dylan as well, up into P9, up into P10 I should say, as New Zealand Cam takes the lead back there on Pot Stuff there. Up into P1 goes the Alpha Tauri. There's too many Alphas. Alpha Tauri there getting the lead there. Favre is trying to be B-Rabbit's got himself past Favre, now up into P7 there, round the outside there of the Alpine car, and he's got the move done there into P7 as well. B-Rabbit trying to recover now in this race to try and get himself back into the fray there for the big points there. Irvine's got himself into the top 10 now after gaining 10 places from P20 in the first 10 laps. That's looking good indeed for Irvine. Of course, he won this race last season, his only race win of the season as well, but he did win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix last season, so hopefully we might see some history repeat itself, as B-Rabbit going very wide off the circuit there. Tango's got himself past Beast, has he? At the exit? No, he hasn't. What's going on here? There's going to be action galore if they're going to go through here side by side, as no, he has got himself past Beast this time, as up into P4 now is Tango there, but Beast is under pressure there from Mumford, who's going to go on the curbs there around the outside. I think that might have unsettled his McLaren a little bit there as well, but he's still within the DRS range, as down the back of the order Junior is in the pit lane. He's called it a day then. He's still on the soft, he's on the hard compound tyres now. But blimey, I'm not quite sure the softs were a great choice of tyre there to start off that Grand Prix, as now we go down the back straight there once again. Then here comes Reflection on Jay Hings there down the inside. Then he's got the move done then up into P12 there for Reflection. Potstuff has once again taken the lead back there on New Zealand Cam as we go into sector 3 this time once again, as it looks like New Zealand Cam having a very narrow line there through there. Craigar and Mr. Elite are switching places as we go into the chicane for these two. They're down in P15 and 16, unfortunately not where they want to be, but of course they hope you can get themselves back in this race then, especially if there is a safety car in the near future then. Kamara Racer all over the back of Jay Hings now as well. Jay Hings is of course jumped into the Ferrari then at the last minute, so he might not have practice under his belt then at this stage. Dylan has caught up to the back of this queue there, which is all the way up to P7 there. Mumford So no, what's going on? Beast is in the pit lane. Beast is in the pit lane. He's called it a day then on the medium compound tyres. This could be a masterstroke of strategy if he goes on to the hard compounds. That is to go to the end of the race, and he has done as well. Good stuff indeed. Where is he going to come out? He's going to come out, I think, ahead of Mr. Elite, which means he's got a lot of clear air there to get himself slotted into and back underway, which is quite good indeed, actually, because he's going to have just run his own race, run his own pace, and get himself back up into this queue, and hopefully we'll get a nice little undercut as well on some of the drivers ahead of him. As New Zealand Cam this time has got himself past, he's got himself past Potstuff this time, but it looked like he went a bit deep there into the braking zone there. Potstuff losing a lot of time there as on the AlphaTauri, then maybe pushed a bit wide there as we go down towards Sector 3 once again. Then he's gained quite a lot back there with the DRS as the Haas driver, then hopefully can cling on to the back then and potentially is on for a win here in the final race of the season then, as here comes Farf then on the back of B Rabbit. Then he can't get himself back past. Mumford is being reeled in slightly there by the champion then here with B Rabbit, but Tango there has got himself past Mumford as well, and now is out of that fight. It looks like they've lost the McLaren by 1.5 seconds now. All over the back of Gordo there is one of the championship protagonists that won most of the season was Tango. Same for Dylan as well, but unfortunately they lost out to B-Rabbit, but he's still in a fight there for P2 there in the driver's standings. There is Tango, same for Dylan as well, but he's now back in the points as Dylan, and of course can try and get himself back up the order as well. He's lost 8 places still, even with that collision there at turn 4 there on the opening lap there. He's got himself back up into the points paying position. Good stuff from Dylan there, great pace indeed as well. We can see that pace there from his qualifying as well. Great stuff. As Tango now onto the back of the Red Bull driver. We'll have a look at the tyre compounds in just a second there, as here comes Tango down the back straight there on the back of the it looks like Postov actually just lost out of DRS there to New Zealand Cam there. Tango on the back of the Red Bull there, but he's not made a move there. I think he might have elected not to make a move as well, because he's going to have a double dose of DRS there down the next straight as well, as we go on to the back straight once again. And here we go then. Can Tango make the move this time there on the Red Bull driver? He's going to go around the outside. He's got the move done. He's up into P3. Back onto the podium places is Tango. Great stuff indeed there. And now Gordon have to slot himself in behind. Nobody can get past P Rabbit at this stage at the moment. He's still trying to get himself into that 1 second window of the McLaren of Mumford there, but at the moment he just can't quite get that 5 tenths or so, half a second that he needs to get himself in that DRS range. But at the moment there's still plenty of moves being made down the field, as Craig Isles getting himself back past Mr. Elite, then up into P15 for the time being there in the AlphaTauri. Good stuff indeed. We're halfway through this race. Blimey, it's flown by, to be fair. Into the pits comes Potstuff, then Potstuff calling it a day then on the medium compound tyres. Same for Gordo, then Gordo's called it a day too. Early stops then for these two drivers then, and again this could be very beneficial then if they can get an undercut. Where will Beast come through in this fight, as Beast sets the fastest lap of the race as well? That is very good news indeed for the Ferrari driver, as there you can see the Red Bull there just going under the track there of Gordo then, and Potstuff is coming out of the pit lane. He's only a few seconds ahead of us as well, so I think the undercut there has worked very nicely indeed for Beast. He's going to be into the fray potentially here as well, only 1.5 seconds behind the former race leader of Potstuff then, so that is very good stuff indeed. You can see you can definitely see the undercut working very nicely indeed as well, as there comes Kamara Racer then up into P10 as well. Now back in the points there is Kamara after the stops there for Potstuff and for Gordo as well, so that is good stuff indeed. Craig Isles into the pit lane too, coming out onto the hard compound tyres into P17, but just ahead there of the Williams and Sweet MJP, I think, just about, as this pack there is all over the back of each other now as well, as we go down towards the hairpin once again. Then Craig Isles could be under a bit of pressure now as well from Sweet MJP and from the rest of those drivers behind as well. Right then. There's still a battle going on. B Rabbit has been passed there by Farf. There, Farf now up into P4. But so they are still going to be within DRS range as always. There's going to be some pit activity here in the background. Then looks like Irvine is in the pit lane, and so is Dylan. Dylan calling it a day there as well on the hard compound tyres. Reflection picks up a penalty there. I think that is a glitch there. The same thing that we saw from some of the drivers in gold yesterday. And Mr. Elite picks up a penalty as well, but I think that was out on track somewhere. Yeah, it looks like it was out on track somewhere. Right then, hard compound tyres for Irvine, mediums for Dylan there, and mediums there for Reflection as well. So interesting stuff indeed. They are back out and back underway. Then where will they come out in respect to Mr. Elite? Mr. Elite, I think, is going to be in this pack as well, and could be quite close indeed. I did say we're going to look at the tyre compounds. We are going to look at the tyre compounds. There we go. 11 laps there for Mr. Elite there. TKM's getting past B-Rabbit, then into the chicane. Is he? Yes, he is. He's up into P6 now, P5 now, I should say, with the Alfa Romeo team as well, trying to chase down Farf now for P4. Out in front, then New Zealand Can there has got an 8-second lead there to Tango's on the hard compound tyres as well. Mumford there 2 seconds behind, then, and another 2 seconds back to Farf. But then he's got a whole trail behind there of TKM, B-Rabbit, Kamara Racer, Jay Hings. Potstuff, of course, is pit for fresh hard compound tyres and looking to get himself back through the order as well as quickly as possible. Of course, potentially to get himself back into the lead of this race as well. So it is it's going to be all over the place now for the time being until all the pit stops have taken place, I should say. Jenner getting himself past Reflection now. Reflection will go around the outside there on the medium compound tyres. Oh, it's going to be tight indeed there as no moves being made. All sorted. TKM there is in the pit lane there. He's got himself off the hard compound tyres. Same for Kamara Racer, so they're calling it early then, these drivers. Potstuff sets the fastest lap of the race, then he's going to get through past those two drivers there. Jay Hings has no, it's not Jay Hings, that's Beast, isn't it, behind? Jay Hings is the next target then for the Haas driver. Jenner picks up a 3-second penalty. Unfortunately for Jenner, that is going to be added to his race time at the end of the race. Dylan has got himself up into P11 there, has he? He's got himself up into P10 now. There's lots of pit stops there still unfolding behind us. TKM coming out the pit lane now. He's going to be behind Irvine. Where is Mr. Elite though? TKM has got himself out ahead of Mr. Elite just about then. Into P12 goes TKM there on the medium compound tyres. Will be very quick indeed to the end of this Grand Prix. Good stuff from TKM there. He's looking strong in this race there. Good stuff from Alfa Romeo as well for getting some big points in this Grand Prix. Border having hell of a race again, says Serious Mushroom. Then Kamara is still going. Please do no curse, says Serious Mushroom. Hopefully, because Kamara's had a bit of a difficult race, difficult season, I should say. But there is some battling going on between Jinner and Reflection. They've got their elbows out, these two, as they're battling away there down to the sector 3 we go. Then once again, then Reflection is ahead now of the Haas, and of course he's on the medium compound tyres as well. He's going to have the speed, I think, on those medium compound tyres. They're chasing after Mr. Elite now as well. Into the pits comes Mumford. He has called it day on the hard compounds as well. But these drivers, they're still going, are staying out at this stage. They're going to be undercut massively, I think, by Potstuff and potentially by Gordo as well. Ultimate Beast is in the fray as well. He's right on the back there of Potstuff as well, isn't he? He's in the DRS range there of the Haas driver. Dylan sets the fastest lap of the race there. He is looking strong as well indeed, looking to get that point as well for fastest lap potentially, if it stays that way, that is. But we'll have to wait and see. There's still stops to come there for Jay Hings, for B-Rabbit, for Farf there, for Tango in P2, and for New Zealand Cam there in P1. B-Rabbit gets himself back up into the podium places as it stands there ahead of Farf. Into the pits goes Mr. Elite then. He's called it a day there on the hard compound tyres. Ultimate Beast has got himself past the Haas of Potstuff there, and this is what I was saying there with the undercut for Beast. He's got himself in the fight potentially for the race lead, because Potstuff was battling New Zealand Cam there for the race lead at the first stint there, wasn't he? So now he's got himself back up ahead there of the Ferrari, but Beast there with that undercut is really looking strong indeed, potentially to get himself some big points here tonight then. So it's looking good for the Ferrari team and for himself in the constructors and the drivers standings, that is. So if Beast can just hold on to the back there, get himself past, potentially they'll be in the fight as well. There might be a fright as well indeed. Hopefully there's no frights. Jenner gets himself back past Reflection, but Reflection's on the inside there, and Father's got a penalty then, I think, for entering the pit lane there. That could be looked at after the race. Reflection almost into the back there of the Haas of Jenner then, as we go into the hotel section now. Kamara Racer on those fresh medium compound tyres is all over the back of these two as well. Jay Hinks is in the pits as well. He's called it a day there on the hards. Mediums there for Farf there. He's dropping down the order then, as so is Jay Hinks, of course, as these drivers who've already pitted are coming through now. TKM up into the points paying positions as it stands as well. Blimey, this is going well indeed there for some. Unfortunately, there's a few that are having a few struggles out there as well. But fair play for everyone to carrying on at this stage as well. They're getting on with the race at hand, which is more than we could ask from these drivers as well. Great stuff indeed. Beast there is they've dropped. Who was it? I think it was the other Ferrari there, Jay Hings, who hadn't pitted yet, but he has now made a stop there down to P15 there for Jay Hings, but looking to get himself back up in this race there on the medium compound tyres. So 17 laps there for the top three. Are they going to go onto onto the soft compounds, do you reckon, at the end of this race, instead of going onto the medium compound tyres? It could be the play then for those drivers. It potentially, they'll be very quick indeed on those soft compound tyres as well. But we did see the softs not last very long there, as Reflection's been passed there by Kamara there, as Irvine and Mumford switching places as well. There's some team orders potentially going down there at McLaren. TKM in the background there trying to catch up on the mediums as well. Reflection and Jinner battling away then into sector 3 once again. Potstaff picks up a 3-second penalty as well. That is bad news for Potstaff. That will be added onto his race time, and I think that was out on circuit, so unless there is some warnings that can be removed there, Potstaff will be having that 3 seconds added onto his race time. Then they've caught up to B Rabbit now, who of course has yet to pit. And he is struggling out there on those hard compound tyres as well, compared to those on the fresher hards as well behind him. Tango coming down the pit lane now, coming out of the pit lane, I should say. Yellow flags. What's that for? Yellow flags. There's a problem there for somebody on the pit straight, I think. Didn't see who it was though. It was a brief yellow flag. If it was, I'm not quite sure what happened there. But there we go then. Potsdam has got himself past the Mercedes there, the champion there of B Rabbit. He's got himself up into P2, back up into P2 I should say. Here comes Beast there trying to get himself down the inside as well. No, not quite. He has to bide his time then. Of course, B Rabbit will now have some DRS to try and defend from the Ferrari as well as we go down the second DRS straight. But again on the traction, Beast has got so much better grip there on those fresher hard compound tyres that he's just breezing past the Mercedes then. Whether he's the champion or not, then he's been passed by the Ferrari, and up into P3 there, onto the podium places goes Beast there. Great stuff indeed. Gordo is going to be next to try and catch up to this fight as well. But blimey, great racing indeed there. And of course, yet to pit. Here comes New Zealand Cam there. He is in the pit lane now. Mumford picks up a 3-second penalty as well. That is bad news for Mumford there. He's somewhere in sector 3 now, just entering sector 3. That is going to be added onto his race time as well, unfortunately for Mumford there. Potstaff, I think, is going to claim the lead here as we go on to lap 21 now. Are we? Yep. No, yep, we're on to lap 20 instead there. Sorry, I thought we were just going across the line to start off lap 21 there, but not in my case. New Zealand Cam coming out the pit lane now. Where will he come out in respect to the rest of the drivers then? He's going to be ahead of Dylan, I think, there, which is going to be great news indeed. He's going to be out in P4 here as well. Great stuff indeed for the AlphaTauri driver, and he's going to have 3 ahead of him now. 2 seconds or so. 1.8 seconds is the gap there to Gordo to get himself back onto the podium as well. That's not too far off there, but can the soft compound tyres hold on? We saw for Jinner, they were after about 3 laps there, they were just dying off there in the hands of the Haas driver. Let's see what you can do there on the AlphaTauri instead. Ultimately, he's just trying to cling on to the back of Potstaff here, struggling there through the chicane. They're trying to keep himself going there, but unfortunately he's lost out to the DRS now of the Haas driver there. So now Potstaff can try and control his own race, breeze away there in the background there. Faber's got himself past Irvine up into P9 for the time being, but of course that penalty will be added onto his race time. Of course, the penalty might be removed as well if it was a pit lane entry penalty, because there is that glitch. Gordo going very wide and off the circuit now, and not quite sure what's going on for Gordo. Then he's really struggling there on those on this lap there. He's really had a problem there through into the hotel section now, with New Zealand Cam all over the back there of the Red Bull driver, as Gordo trying to go wide there. What's going to happen through here as well now, as into the penultimate turn there, and New Zealand Cam is ahead of the Red Bull driver now. Out of the podium places there is Gordo. They're trying to hold on there to the back of that AlphaTauri there if you can, for some DRS there down the next straight as well. Tango sets the fastest lap of the race, so that is good news for him. So that will be an extra point for him as well there, if he can hold on to that point as well. But like I said, it is how it's all going to play out then as it stands. The difference between Dylan and Tango is only 4 points there, so there won't be any swing there in the drivers' standings. Of course, the gap there is just over 15 points there, I believe, in the standings there between Tango, who's currently in P2 of the drivers, ahead of Dylan in P3. So at the moment there is no change as it stands there. Dylan now has been overtaken by Mumford, so there is definitely no change now as well, because the gap now only 2 points. The lag there, hopefully it was on my end, not on the driver's end. Fingers crossed that is anyway. Now New Zealand Cam all over the back there of Ultimate Beast there for P2 as well. He's run out of ERS there, has the AlphaTauri driver, but he's got those soft compound tyres there, and on to the inside he goes on the Ferrari. Beast is going to battle with this one, I think. No, he's not. He's not going to battle. He's always going to let him through. He's gone flying through here, has New Zealand Cam there, up into P2, back up into P2 I should say. And Beast there, I don't think had anything to fight with at all, so he had to let him through in the end there on 9 lap old hard compound tyres compared to 1 lap old or 2 lap old soft compound tyres. So I don't think there was much of a contest there, unfortunately, for New Zealand Cam, for Ultimate Beast, that is. But he sets the fastest lap as well there to boot. Now chasing down Pot Stuff as well for that final place that he needs there, that winning position there for the AlphaTauri driver. Pot Stuff with that 3 second penalty, unfortunately, is going to be costly indeed, and he might actually lose out to as Jenna picks up a 3 second penalty as well. That again is for the pit lane entry. So again, that might be reviewed there after the race as well. But he's boxing there off 11 lap old hard compound tyres, so that's interesting stuff indeed. I'm not quite sure what's gone wrong there for Ginner. Hopefully he can get himself sorted and back underway. Both the Williams there on the soft compound tyres as well then will be looking to try and get themselves into the fastest lap fray, I should say, as Dylan has got past Mumford there. I think it's Mumford there who's having a bit of a problem there with the connection there. Pot Stuff has lost the lead there as the New Zealand Cam there takes P1 back away there from the Haas driver on the soft compound tyres as well. Looking good indeed. Cam soft, says Serious Mushroom. Yeah, that is the soft. Yeah, the pit is a menace, says Serious Mushroom as well. Yeah, so of course, like I said, you can always get your penalties removed there if you get yourself the footage, your race director of all the laps you've done, and showing all your warnings and that sort of thing. And obviously, if the footage lines up with the race director, then we can remove the penalty. So New Zealand Cam sets the fastest lap once again there. Tango now pushing Dylan there through into the final turn there. These two battling away for P2 in the driver's standings. This could get spicy indeed then if they come together. If there's any contact between the two of them there into turn one we go. There is a bit of contact there between the two of them, but I think it was just a bit of rubbing is racing. But there we go then into the next part of the lap then. So through turn 3 now in towards turn 4 as well. Is there going to be any dive bombs there for Tango then? Oh, he is going to dive bomb down the inside then as Dylan goes very deep. They're trying to get the switch there, but he's lost traction there on those medium compound tyres. And Tango has the DRS as well. Tango has DRS as well on the Alfa Romeo from before the hairpin. So he's now going to have that DRS to pull himself away there down this straight in towards the chicane we go. Then is a McLaren going to go down the inside there as well. There it looks like a Mumford trying to switch back now on the Alfa Romeo 2. Vitol picks up a penalty as well. Here comes Mumford now on the back of the Alfa Romeo of Dylan there. Going to go down the inside into sector 3, then he's breezing past then with the DRS and the ERS as well. All these drivers, their lights are flashing away then on their cars as well. There's no ERS, there's no battery to play with then for these drivers. They're going to have to use just their minds, their skill and their bravery as well. But thankfully there wasn't too much bravery on the show there, because they decided to sit in behind and not go for any silly moves. But there we go then, TKM now all over the back of Dylan. Will there be some team orders here for Dylan there to let TKM through there on the fresher medium compound tyres for the Alfa Romeo team? Of course, they're trying to maximise the points then as well for the team's constructors fight in the standings, that is as well. But at the moment, no such thing is happening there on the track, that is at the moment. So there we go then. Mumford has lost out 1.5 seconds to Tango, who's now onto the back of Gordo once again then. Gordo and Tango resuming their battle then as well, as New Zealand Cam there has got himself the lead once again then, and Pot Stuff in P2 it looks like is on for a great P2 position after starting. Where did he start? He started P4 in the end, so at the beginning, so that is very good stuff indeed. Gordo up 10 places there, but he's under pressure now from Tango for that P4 position there into the chicane. We go side by side, and he's got to leave some room there for Tango on the outside as well. And I didn't see if there was contact or not. It looked like they were just trying to get themselves through there side by side. It's very difficult indeed. Gordo now trying to make sure that he stays on to the back of that Ferrari. Then into sector 3 we go. Then he's going to have to yield there to Tango then, who has got himself through and up into P4. Yellow flags for McConey. McConey's crashed. There's a safety car. There's a late safety car here in Silver to end off the season. McConey's had a crash there at the first turn, on the exit of the first turn as well. And there's a late safety car to add some more spice to this end of Silver Season 6, as Beast has got a drive-through penalty. Drive-through penalty for Beast there for speeding under the safety car, and that is going to be bad. Oh, that's ruined his race as well. Unfortunately, that is his season done. Pot Stuff has carried on there. I'm not quite sure why Pot Stuff has decided to carry on. That is a bit of a... I don't think, unfortunately, as Gordo's carried on as well. Oh, my God. This is going to be an absolutely chaotic end to the race indeed, especially with two drivers that are out on the hard compound tyres who are staying out, and there's going to be everybody on fresh soft compounds behind them as well. I don't think this is going to work out for those two, unfortunately. So, unfortunately, I think that's some of their races ruined, which is a bit of a shame. We'll see how it all plays out then. Lap 25 then, so we'll be back racing there at the end of lap 27, and then we'll have a 2-lap sprint. It could be a repeat. It could actually be a repeat. Look at this. It could be a repeat of the 2021 F1 season with some drivers on old hards and everybody else on fresh softs behind. So we'll have to wait and see if Bernd Mailander will let 6 cars through, or whether he'll let the rest of the field through. But unfortunately for Marconi there, he ends the season with a DNF there on the final race of the season. Serious Mackman said he should have pitted. Yeah, I think he should have done as well. Vitor picked up a penalty. I think that's for entering the pits as well. So again, it is not going to be added on to his race time. Well, it will be added on to his race time, but it can be removed because, well, again, depending on how many warnings you've got. Yeah. It all can be reviewed, those ones, especially with the pit lane glitch. Right then, we've caught the safety car leader, but like I said, the top two have not pitted. They're going to really cost themselves even more now if they do pit behind the safety car, because the rest of the field is already bunched up as well. The driver of the day vote is coming out now. Gordo, Irvine, Farf and Tango are your driver of the day nominations then for the final race of the season, so get your votes in there for the driver of the day. But yeah, unfortunately for Pot Stuff, he's also on the hard combat tires. He's got a 3-second penalty as well that will be added onto his race time, which I think won't be removed because I'm not sure if I don't think there's any glitches involved in that one. But again, it can be looked at potentially. Gordo there is going to struggle on those hard combat tires. New Zealand Cam, I think, is going to be flying through there on those softs. Beast, unfortunately, has got that drive-through penalty then, which will have to be served before the end of the race. Otherwise, he will. Otherwise he will be disqualified from the race, unfortunately for Beast there, which is a big shame indeed because he was looking strong for a podium here as well. Tango is in line potentially there for where will he finish? If he can get himself past the two hard runners, he could be on for a P2 finish here actually with Beast's drive through as well. So yeah, so it could be still a fantastic podium indeed for Tango. As it stands, potentially for Dylan as well, with the penalties to be looked into. Again, I'm not sure if Mumford's penalties there were for pit lane entry or not. So I seem to remember that he got himself a penalty there in sector 3, but it wasn't in the pit entry. So yeah, so maybe not then. But who knows? So the penalties really don't have a clue, really, do we? Because the penalties might be added on, they might not be. We'll have to wait and see then. Because of the pit lane glitch, they're waiting for Vitor there to catch up to the back of the pack. Then he's currently going into sector 1, so I think it might actually be out for another lap, which means we're going to have 2 laps of racing here. Gordo and Potstuff will be hoping that the safety car stays out for another lap as well, because they want as little laps as possible then to end off this race. With those hard compound tyres, they're going to be fighting against the fresh soft compound tyres, and I'm not sure it's going to be an easy fight there for the hard runners, that is, so we'll have to wait and see. Right then, a 2-lap sprint there to end off Silver Season 6 there, and blimey, it is going to be an epic finish, I think, indeed. Might be having a few stewards reviews after this one as well for Smithy, because it looks like it could be a bit of a rush to get to the finish line here, let's say it that way. Right then, we are going round to start off lap 27 then, as we do cross the line there to start lap 27 now, I think. Are we not starting lap 27? What's going? Yes, we are now, finally. Good stuff indeed. Right then, so yeah, we're going to have 2 laps of racing. I think Vitor is just about to catch up to the back of the pack. What's happened to Sweet MVP? He's in the pit lane there. Is Sweet MVP? I'm not quite sure what's going on for Sweet MVP here. Vitor is going to get himself back up into P18 now. There's 6 seconds penalties there in the background there, but I'm not quite sure if those are going to be appealed and potentially removed there for pit lane infringements rather than actual pit lane speed, actual on-track limits, that is. But we'll have to wait and see. Right then, fancy a repeat of 2021. I think we're going to get one. Because like I was saying, there is the penalty situation. Then get your votes in there for driver of the day as quickly as well, because Gordo, Irvine, Favre and Tango are your nominations there. The voting will close at the end of this Grand Prix, and there are the tyre compounds as TKM and B Rabbit are switching places in the background. Not quite sure what's going on between those two, but they have sorted themselves out, I think, so that is good stuff indeed. Right then, so then we'll have to wait and see. Gordo is going to be in P2 as it stands. He's going to have to try and fight there for that podium place if he's going to hold on to it, but it might be a struggle and a half. But there we go then. I think the safety car will be in at the end of this lap. Then we'll have lap 28 and lap 29 of green flag racing there to end off the season. And this is going to be it then, the final few laps, the final 2 laps there of the Silver Season 6 season. And this, of course, is the final laps there for Silver in 2023 as well. And it's going to be a flying finish indeed. Or maybe not so for those on the hard compound tyres, but it's going to be a flying finish for the other 17 drivers. But right then, we're waiting for Bert Mylander to get himself back in the pit lane, and we can crack on then for the last 2 laps there of the Silver Season here. And this is going to get interesting stuff indeed, as Gordo's really pushing that Haas there through the hotel section there, ready to get going as quickly as possible. There is Gordo. Right then, here we go then. From lap 28, we're going to have 2 laps there of green flag running, and I think Potstaff has already gone. He's gone early there as well, trying to catch out the rest of the field. Then into the final turn we go then to start off lap 28. Then 2 laps of racing here to finish Silver, and already New Zealand Cam there is going for the move there down towards turn 1. He's going to have a later braking zone as well because of those soft compound tyres, and he's already passed Gordo there up into P2 as well. And now he's going to chase down Potstaff as well for that first place as well. I think he's going to be all over the back of Potstaff before we get to turn 4. Here comes Gordo, then he's under pressure now from Beast there. Beast, of course, has got that drive-through penalty to serve, and I'm not quite sure when he's going to serve it, though, because he's now under pressure there from Gordo and from Tango as well. Tango's going to fly down this main straight there. New Zealand Cam is already going to go side by side for the lead of the Grand Prix there, down towards the chicane, and he's got the lead as well ahead of Potstaff now. Up into P1 goes New Zealand Cam then. Beast has got himself past Gordo there into the chicane there. There's contact, I think, between the 2 of them there. Beast has gone wide now. Gordo's gone into the back of the Ferrari there. Tango's gone through. Mumford has gone through as well. Gordo there on the hard compound tyres is going to be out of the points there at the end of this race. I think Dylan's got himself up into P6 there, past the Red Bull driver. As they go into sector 3 there for the penultimate time there. Tango's got himself past Beast now as well. Down the inside there of the Ferrari there. There's contact between the 2 of them as well. And I think Tango almost pushed him off the circuit there as well. And into the hotel section we go then, as Farf and Dylan have got battling away as well. Farf up into P6 there. TKM there in P8 there. Gordo is dropping down the field there. Irvine's got a problem there. Kamara Racer's got himself past Craigar. No, it's the other way around. Craigar's got himself past Kamara Racer. 3-second penalty for Kamara Racer as well, unfortunately for him. Gordo there into P10 there. He's dropping down the field massively now as well. He's lost out there to the champion there of B-Rabbit. Then up into P9 there with B-Rabbit. Then, of course, penalties will be added on to the end of this race, but of course there might be some that have to be reviewed as well. 3 seconds is the lead there for New Zealand Cam there. He's got himself a fantastic lead there. He's got the win in the bag as well. Here comes Tango then on the back of Potstaff. Potstaff could have lost out the lead into the hairpin we go, and there's a dive bomb there on the soft compound tyres for Aston Martin. He's got P2 for this race as well. As like I was saying, Potstaff on those hard compound tyres is really struggling away on those hards compared to those on the soft compound tyres. Here comes Ultimate Beast as well. He's going to be battling back there down to the chicane we go. Is he going to go for a lunge? He's going to be disqualified actually, I should say, because of that drive-through. And there's contact again there for Beast and Potstaff. Oh, I'm God, he ghosted, thank God, because that would have been a massive smash indeed. Potstaff down to P8 there, Mumford there and Farf there, switching places there. Mumford down to P5 there. Oh, there's contact between Beast and Farf as well, and Farf is going through there. There's more contact between the Ferrari then and the Alfa Romeo of Dylan there. Dylan up into P5 as it stands. There's contact again there. Dylan's been spun, and that, I think, oh my goodness me, there's a McLaren there. I think it was he didn't actually know what was going on there, did he? Did Mumford there, but nonetheless, we'll come back to that one because New Zealand Cam is going to cross the line for the final race of Silver Season 6 to win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Then that is his second win, I think, of the season. But like I was saying, he's not going to be invited back at all. As what's going on there for TKM, and in the background there, TKM has got P4, Tango P2 in the end. Fantastic race from Tango there. Cements P2 in the standings as well. B-Rabbit in P3 in the end. Fantastic result from him. TKM in P4. Farf there P5. Mumford in P6 there. Irvine in P7. Gordo in P8 somehow on those hard compound tyres. Potstaff in P9. Oh, blimey, what a finish there. That is Silver Season 6 wrapped up then. But I still don't have a clue what was happening in those last 2 laps then. Driver of the day is Farf, but of course you can get your votes for driver of the day there into the comment section very quickly indeed before it finishes there. The poll is due to be wrapped up in the next few seconds or so get your last minute votes in as well. Great stuff indeed. Oh, blimey. Right, then there you go. Then the champion there, B Rabbit, does get himself onto the podium as well. Then in P3, great stuff indeed from him. But we'll run through the classification then very shortly. Yeah, that is the end for Silver Season 6 there. Well done to the drivers then who have got themselves very good finishes there for the final race in the end. Of course, there's going to be some penalties. I think they're going to have to be reviewed as well. But what a season it has been. 22 rounds there from July till December. And Silver Season 6 there has been completed. Great stuff indeed then. New Zealand Cambia gets the win there in the end. Tango in P2, B Rabbit in P3 there, TKM there P4 in the end. Great stuff from the Alfa Romeo Reserve there. Fantastic drive indeed. Favre there in P5 there. Mumford P6 in the end. Irvine from P20 to P7 there in the McLaren. Great stuff from him. Gordo in P8 there in the Red Bull in the end. I'm not sure what happened there with the penalty situation, but they might be looked at after this race. Pot Stuff in P9. Craigar in P10 there gets the final points pen position of the final race of the season. But of course, there's penalties to be looked at as well, so we'll stay tuned for that. Jay Hings in P11 there. Kamara P12. Dylan in P13 after that contact on the last line there. Reflection P14. Mr. Elite in P15. 300P, Beast, V Todd, Jinner, and McConey there are your final classifications then for this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Cool beans. I think we need a break now, to be fair. Thankfully, we've got a nice month-long break before the next season starts, so I can have a bit of hibernation for over the Christmas period, so I'm going to do that. But well done to all the drivers there from Silver. I have to say, fantastic stuff indeed there for your sixth season there. I put on a show every week, week in, week out, so great stuff from you guys as well then. But I think we'll be joined, hopefully, by some of the podium drivers. Is New Zealand Cam, are you there?
I am alive. How are you?
He is there. Good stuff indeed. Another race win for yourself there. And like I was saying in the commentary, I think you'll be kicked out of Silver. Then I thought they already hate you, so we're going to be putting you out of Silver for the time being. And
it's not fair, man.
Hey?
No, the first stint in Brazil, I was really close to Dylan. The first stint in this, I'm really close to Bravitt and Jinner. And then I don't know what happens in the second stint, but I just disappear. It's not fair. I enjoy racing here. Let me say.
Well, I'm sure it was. I'm sure they have something to say about that. But no, it was a great race for yourself actually. Like you said, in the first stint you had a battle there with the Haas for most of the first stint, and then of course when the safety car came out, did you think when you saw that the top two didn't pit, did you think that was an easy win guaranteed?
Well, I saw how quickly I was able to get them on the pit stop, the first pit stop. I think I closed like 5 seconds in 2 laps, so I kind of knew they were screwed. But to be fair to the Haas, he hung on quite well, to be fair. But yeah, it was always a matter of just get them and go, basically.
Great stuff indeed. And what's your thoughts there for potentially racing in gold next season when you're going to be stuck there?
No. Nah, it'll be good. I always said that, I like the challenge of finding your place and earning the way to gold. So if I've earned my way to gold, then I'll take it with, both arms, and I'll see if I can win races there.
I think we'll speak with our P2 driver at the moment, and he will tell you about that. So Tango there in P2 then tonight. You confirmed P2 in the driver's standings as well. So there's a trophy on the way for you as well, if you can send me your address, that is. But well done to Tango then in P2. I don't know if he joined us, but we'll have to wait and see. He is here. Good stuff indeed. What was your thoughts on that race? Because you gained quite a few places there in the first stint then, and really sort of confirmed that podium place before the first stops.
Yeah, it was alright. Qualifying was just a mess. I messed up the final run, otherwise I'd been on the second row, I think. But yeah, I had a good start, just getting through everything that was happening. It was actually a good initial start as well, and yeah, just got to the point where I was up in P5 and then just started saving ERS for the end of the stint. And then, yeah, that New Zealand Cam, I don't know what you did in those about 15, 16, but you gained about 3 seconds on me, and I was like, where the hell has that place come from?
It's called using 70% ERS.
Yeah, I was like, where's this come from? But yeah, I think the race win with a clean race, I don't think was ever on for any of us. I think New Zealand Cam was just too fast, but it's nice to get P2.
And of course, that P2 confirms the P2 in the driver standings. I was said to New Zealand Cam what he thought about gold for next season. What are your thoughts for gold next season as well?
Well, we'll see. I don't expect to do very, very well. It's like not like the last time I was in gold because I don't think I'm that fast anymore, and there's way faster people in there. But if I can be a helpful teammate, if I get someone quick, I will be a helpful teammate.
Good stuff indeed. Well, we'll hopefully see some more of you then in gold next season. Great stuff from you all season as well. Since round 2, you've been on the top steps or there or thereabouts as well. So that is confirmed here tonight then with another P2 and P2 in the driver's standings as well. Great stuff from Tango this season. B Rabbit then I think might have joined us. He has got P3 there in this final race of the season then. A bit of a difficult qualifying for yourself as well there, but in the race you made up for it, and again you were up into P3 in the first stint, similar to what Tango's race was like as well.
I would switch it around. So the qualifying was quite good. So I was doing my best lap today. In my whole practice sessions, I did a 22.2. So I was happy about the quali lap, and the race was one of my worst races in this season so far. So first I unluckily spun in turn 2. I think because of I was just not concentrating. It was my fault, and then I had the worst strategy from everyone. So the safety car was helping me, and yeah, in the end I have no idea what happened. I somehow finished on the podium with in the penalty very last lap. I was like P9, P8. And I'm happy with that, but I'm not sure if it's the final result. But I try to enjoy the last race because next season will be really tough, I think.
Well, I was just going to come on to that as well. Of course, the champion there of silver. Then you're looking forward to gold, or are you thinking it's going to be a bit of a challenge?
I cannot wait. I already wanted to wait yesterday, but there was no spot available, so unlucky with that. But I'm looking forward to next season. I will see who will be on the driver lineup, so it will be interesting. I will try to hold on with them and score some points, and we will see. I will look forward.
Well, I look forward to, if I'm racing as well, that I look forward to being behind everybody on that in the silver, the silver top 3 anyway. So good stuff indeed. But no, cracking season from yourself. Then of course the champion then for yourself and for the Mercedes team as well in the constructors. So great stuff from you in silver this season. But that pretty much wraps up the 22 rounds then of silver. We're going to be of course back for season 7 of silver in the new year. On the 15th of January, then, is the first race. Of course, the first gold race is on the 14th. So we'll have more updates on that in the Discord server as they come. But well done to all the guys then of Silver Season 6 there. A great showing there. All 22 rounds there from July till December. It's been epic to watch and epic to commentate on as well. And we'll look forward to Season 7 in a few months' time. Well, in a month's time.